Hello everybody, welcome to Study Bay Technologies. Before we go ahead, let me introduce myself. My name is Deep Pandey and I'm having around 12 plus years of IT experience in various MNCs that include SCL, TCS, Samsung and Accenture as well. And for more than 4 years, I am working on big data technologies that include Hadoop, MongoDB, Cassandra, Spark, Scala, and so on. I'm an author of a book that will be a big D, which is actually a comprehensive book on big data and Hadoop. And currently I'm serving as founder and chief executive officer of StudyBay Technologies. Moving forward, in our today's session, we will discuss about SQOOP Incremental Import. In our last videos, you have seen that how you can import data of a table into a DFS, how you can use where clause, etc. Now in this case, we are going to study like if your data is continuously increasing, then how you can send the increased part of the data or the latest set of data only instead of sending the entire file to the DFS. The concept is something like that. Let's say this one is your RDBMS and DFS. You have some table in RDBMS, some data in this RDBMS, and which is supposed to be migrated to the DFS system using SQOOP. After some time, there's some addition in the data. Now this additional data will be transferred to the DFS if we follow the rules and concepts that what we are going to discuss over here. So with the help of this incremental import, you can limit the data that you are ingesting in DFS. So instead of having to copy and move the complete data set each time, why would not we want to import only the new data or ingest only a part of the data that has not already been moved to a DFS. Now, SQOOP supports two incremental imports, or it can be done in two different modes or ways. First one is your append mode. So this append mode in SQOOP, it keeps track of the previously imported data through a numerical column which is unique and it's incremented whenever new rows are added. Simple example is your primary key, right? Similarly, last modified mode. Under this last modified mode, SQOOP keeps track of the column that has timestamp or datetime data type and is updated every time the row is updated. Okay. Now, what could be the arguments in case of append mode and last modified mode? So first one, that is the incremental, it should be append. In check column, that means, and then last value. So now every time you would run the SQOOP job with the mentioned arguments, it would store the last value of column. It may be your, if it is your primary key, it may be your entity ID, employee ID, anything like that. So that the next time it imports data or rows where entity ID value or primary key value or employee ID, whatever example you can set here, should be greater than the last imported value. If you are not willing a SQOOP job and you use a SQOOP import command instead, it would be simply render the last value of the column with that concerned primary key, maybe employee ID or entity ID or whatever, over the console for you to keep track of it. However, if you are willing a SQOOP job, in that case, this SQOOP metastore stores the value and automatically imports only the newer data. In the similar way, we have arguments in last modified mode as well. Under this last modified mode, we have incremental, last modified, like check column and last value. Of course, you would tell SQOOP which column to look at to check for the last import date or time. Now you do it by passing the column name as a value to the argument check column. Now that you know that you can either row number or timestamp to import only the newly added data, which one to use over the other. Now, in case like if use append mode in a SQOOP to import data into HDFS when the data in table is not at all updated. And use this last modified mode in a SQOOP when rows in your source table are updated. So if you are using append mode in a SQOOP to import data from a relational database and the rows get updated, the updated value would be simply ignored and will never reflect in your HDFS data file. However, if you use last modified mode to import the data, which of course means that a field with timestamp or data stamp would be updated when a new update in your source tables, it would update the corresponding row with new values in HDFS files. However, remember that these update operations are quite expensive to be performed on your flat file. So now let's go ahead and see some example on that. I have my table over here. This is my table wherein I have three values: employee ID, 1, 2, 3, employee name, and this is date and date of joining. So the first objective is I need to migrate this particular data to the HDFS. Okay, so let me open the HDFS screen here and let's write our query. I'm sure all of you know very well about this query, so I expect there is update is not required, but let me make some slight corrections here. This is single hyphen M1 so that serial processing should take place and you can get entire result in a single file. Okay, and output directory is your user root, user study bay. Just click on enter. It will ask for the password. Okay, now it's going to start your MapReduce job. Okay, this MapReduce job have been started, 0% done. Okay, now you can see here that it retrieves these three records. Okay, in our table also you can see that we have only three records. So let us check it out how it actually looks like. The Hadoop fs-ls user. My directory was study bay. Yes, you can see here that I have a file part-time 00000. If I want to read that particular file, what we can do is we can make it as a cat and it's something like part-time 00000. Good. This is my data. Fine. Now let me do one thing. Let me add some more rows into my table. This is my table. Let me add a few more rows. Right. Here we have, let's put it 4. Okay. Then make it sub. Let's change the data as well. 3, let's make it 4. Similarly, I'm making some more changes. I'm just going to add 2 records like this. Something like this way. Sushil. Fine. Let me change the data as well. Like this. Now if you fire command like select star from emp, let's see what happens. You can get 5 different records over here, right? And in your DFS you have just 3 records. So now if you again fire the same command for a scoop import, it will again copy the entire file in the form of all the data. But I want that only these 2 records should be extracted. Okay. So what can I do? So the first option is like we have to check it, and we can see here that yes, this is the employee ID, which is actually a primary key, and it is updating after every new record. So remember that the point is those who have already taken training from me, they might have seen me speaking the same thing. But for all these viewers, I would like to say that whenever you get into any big data technology, any big data project, remember that you have to have 2 different thumb rules. Number 1, you should analyze your sample data. And point number 2, you need to understand the business requirement. Okay? Without performing these 2 pre-checks, please do not directly fall into the task of big data. Okay? Well, let's go back. So here you can see that we have this employee ID which are getting updated every time. So let me go ahead and clear that screen first of all. Let's make some add something on this query, which is almost same. And now I'm going to put some arguments for appending the data. Okay. So first argument, what we have to do is we have to put check column. Check column means what column I want this scoop to monitor, from where it should start. Okay, like in my case this is employee ID. Let me check it. Yes, this is employee ID. Okay, so based on that, the scoop will identify that okay, from this particular column I have to find out the maximum or last updated value, and based on that I will extend that data import. So if you had to check this employee ID, all right, then incremental is what I want to just increment it and append the same. Okay, then what was the last value? Last value, this last value was 3, I think, right? Okay, something like this. Fine. So you can see here this incremental append, this last value is 3, and check column is employee ID. You need not to change this directory. Let's go ahead. Now again the MapReduce job has been started. Fine. It says that incremental import is complete. Now let me check out how this detail we have got so far. Under this, you can find here that we have got some incremental file over here. If I can try to make it out, let's see, this should contain 2 records. Previously added 2 records, that is employee ID 4 and 5. And similarly, if I can make it for the first file, you can see here these 3 records as well, right? This is how your latest data is being updated, or updated data you can migrate it only the incremental data into your HDFS. Okay. Now, next out, this is how you can use append mode. Okay. Now let me do one thing. Let me add a few more columns here. and this time I will be using your last modified mode. So let's add a few more records. Just let me add 2 more records only, not very much. 6. Then let's make it Rahul. Okay, let's make it 7. Fine. Something like this. Now if I have command select star from employee, you can get this kind of result. Now let me go back. Let's clear the screen. Let me fire the same command once again, but this time I need to make a couple of small changes here. Just like in case of check column, I have to make and change it here. Instead of employee ID, I need to have a timestamp or date time column, and date time column over here is joining date of joining. It should be DOJ, like this. Okay. Then for incremental argument, I have to change it to that is my last modified. It is last modified. Okay. And what was the last value here? Last value was 2016-01-05. Okay. 2016-01-05. And yes, this time we need to change directory where the appended record will get copied. Can make it study bay 1. Okay. Now it should ask the password. Okay, MapReduce job has been started, and you can see here that incremental import complete. Fine. Now let me go ahead and check it out if we have got a clear cut information or not. For this we already have a record. Now for this study bay 1, we have got record for part M0000, and then let me use get command, and then we can copy the file name over here to read the content, and these are the content. We have received content record. These are all incremental records actually, right? So this is how you can import the data from a running database where the data is getting appended every time. So you don't have to copy the entire file again using the SQOOP. You can just take the incremental data and that's it, right? Now, and you know very well that these are the 2 modes. First one is your append mode, in which you should apply it. The check column should be some column where you have a primary key or which is a non-repeatable key, something like that. Okay. In last modifier, you can use when you have a timestamp or when you have date time kind of column. Now, let's move ahead and let me tell you the difference. In your append, You should specify append mode when importing a table where new rows are continuously being added with increasing the row ID values. Point number 2, you specify the column containing the row's ID with check column. And the SQOOP imports rows where the check column has a value greater than the one specified with last value. Then in case of last modified, an alternate table update strategy supported by SQOOP is called last modified mode. You should use this when rows of the source table may be updated, and each such update will set the value of a last modified column to the current timestamp. Now rows where the check column holds a timestamp more recent than the timestamp specified with last value are imported. Now when running a subsequent import, you should specify the last value in this way to ensure you import only the new or updated data. And this can be handled automatically by your SQOOP job. The SQOOP job, how to create that SQOOP job, we will discuss in our later sessions. So this is how you can migrate incremented data or additional data which have been added after your last import into the DFS. I hope you have enjoyed the session. So for more details, or if you have any kind of training requirements, please visit our website www.studybay.in. You can mail us at hr@studybay.in, or you can call us at +91 700 70 34421. If you want to go for the self-study, you can order my book online from Be a Big D. That's basically a comprehensive book for big data and Hadoop. You can find it in Amazon or Flipkart as well. Or however, it will be easy. You can easily purchase it from the publisher as well at pothi.com, and you can get it the node number 188662. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video session. So please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe accordingly. Thank you so much, and have a nice time ahead.